Hello guys, this is day 5 of diving into Sui Blockchain series where I'm learning Sui Blockchain development from the scratch. And basically I started learning by some token standard, reading documentation on Sui, and yesterday I was able to write a staking contract where users will be able to stake some token, and in return they will be able to get a capacity object which they can use on some other smart contract to prove that they have staked some token. And if they do something wrong, they will be slashed, and they will also be able to unstake the tokens if they want. Yeah, and today I'm going to write some unit test for that contract to know if I made some errors in that contract. So this was that smart contract, the permissioning system, where staking tokens give you certain permissions which you can use on other protocols, or probably we can extend this contract to have some different logic where that permission could be used. And basically this is a usable function which checks if the permission you have is still valid. And this is the token faucet, which is the project's token. Like, you need some of these tokens to stake. So let me go to the Sui documentation and see if they have some documentation about testing, unit testing. Okay, so there is a package which is test scenario, which helps us write some test unit test scenarios. So let me try to start writing some test for the token first, because I think that would be a simpler contract to test. Let me create a new move file which is token faucet test move. Okay, let me just copy the default test file and increment this token faucet test. Okay, I don't understand why this double columns were here initially, but in any case, let's comment this out for now, and let me try to initialize the token faucet. Okay, I don't know how to write the initialization code for the token faucet. Let me try to find that out first. Okay, so we need to find, we need to write some function like this in the main module which we want to test so that we can initiate it. Yeah. Now I think it should work from here. It's going to be token faucet initialize. Okay, it wants the context. Okay, let me write this up in the top to see if this works. Not here. Then where should I write this? Okay. Okay. I need to find this, where this context is coming from. So it is coming from the test scenario package itself. Okay, you don't need this. Okay. Now if we run Sui move test, let's see what happens. Okay. We need to and the scenario, so test scenario and scenario. Okay, it passed. Now let's try to create another transaction, which is to mint some tokens to the user, which is scenario, no, test scenario, next transaction. It takes the scenario. What does it take? It takes the scenario, which is the mutable reference to scenario, and the sender address. Okay, so let's do mutable scenario and address one, and what we want to do is token faucet mint, and now it takes the faucet. So how do we get the shared object from scenario? try to do scenario. Take no dx context no test scenario. Take from shared. Return shared. Okay, so it should return the faucet. Hmm. Take shared. Okay, now faucet. Now we also want the context. Okay, let's try to run this. It would probably fail because coins is not a drop type. Invalid type for local. Expected a single type. What does mint returns? Okay, mint function doesn't return anything. It sends the token to the user. Okay. So if we do that, and how do we check the balance of the user? So that could be not tx context coin. Okay, let's try to run this first. Okay, it worked, I guess. No. Invalid mutable borrow of invalid variable faucet. What if it was not this? Then would it work? Okay, if it is taking the faucet, it should return the faucet back to the sender or somewhere. Not yet sure what to do in this case. Okay, probably we can take from the sender. Let's make it a reference only, or no. Instead of taking it from here, let's try something else. Text context shared. Okay, now I need to find out how to use a shared object properly. We are passing in the escrow, which I think is a shared object, public shared object. Okay. Okay, let's transfer it back to the shared escrow. In the mint function, invalid mutable value of immutable variable faucet. Not sure what's the problem here. Faucet treasury. Let me try to figure this out. I think this should be a mutable reference only. Let's see here. This time it passed. That is good. Now we want to take the tokens, the coin, from the address. Coin of type token faucet from the scenario. Let's check the value of these. Okay, let's also return these coins back to the sender. Okay, so we need a mutable reference of scenario. Let's try to print this out, which is debug or print. No, it was something else. VG. Okay, so basically without that also it is failing. Okay, if we do this, we need to return these coins. What is the problem here? Test was not expected to fail. Yeah, that's problem. Line number 28 is failing. So this line is failing. This is doing a public transfer of the tokens to the sender of the context. Okay. I'm not sure why this is not working. What if we do this public share object? Okay. But it about it with code 3 originating in this module. Empty inventory. Okay, so the address doesn't have the coins, and why could be that? What if we why is this the case? Let me try to see why the coins are not credited to the sender. Unable to test code that successfully compiles. I think the mint function is not working. Let me try to find it out. Okay, this is for Aptos, I guess, but this is on the move language itself. So coins. Function. So there is the mint function, so that was fine. Then there is a burn function, and we can add or remove addresses from the deny list, but that should not be the problem. You can either use the TypeScript or SDK to manipulate the addresses held in the deny list of your coin. That is not needed, but so what's the problem here? This seems to be the right function to transfer the object to somewhere else, but let me try to use the normal transfer function instead of public transfer. I also need to find out sometime soon that what is the difference between transfer and public transfer. Now there is a different error, I guess. Okay, so invalid private transfer. The function thus is restricted to being called in an objects module. Sui coin. Sui transfer is restricted to being called in the objects module. figure this out. Basically, if an object T does not have the store ability, it cannot be transferred except by the code itself that the module that declared T. Okay. A useful pattern is to declare the custom transfer function, wrapping the Sui transfer and imposing the restriction inside the function. Here's an example. Okay, so might be that we don't need to use the public transfer or the transfer function, but the coin library, the coin package provides some function to transfer it. Yeah, so there is mint and transfer. You can, let me check what it takes. So it takes the treasury capacity, then the amount, then the recipient, and the context itself. So let me provide that instead of first minting and then transferring. Let's mint and transfer at the same time and see what happens in this case. So the recipient is transaction context sender. And I guess the amount is the second parameter, then the third parameter is the recipient. Now let's find this one. Okay, still we are getting the same error that the inventory is empty. Okay. So the function mint is working, but we are not getting the tokens in the users. Like user is not getting the tokens. Or maybe this take from sender function might not be the right function to use. Coin balance, create currency, balance mutable. How do we take address and find the balance of that? No, there is no function which takes the address and then gives the balance. So let me try to find why this is not working. Okay. Okay, this guide is in Chinese, but I think the code would be same, so that is fine, I guess. Okay. Oh, okay. So maybe after doing this test scenario, we need to see if the coin exists or not, because that transaction was not completed. So that might be one of the reasons. Let's try to do this. Okay, this passed, and if we print the value, that comes out to be 1000, so that is working. And what if we do assert equal coin value and 1000? This still passed. Okay, so we are successfully able to mint the tokens, and that is working. Let me leave this part here and remove all the non-necessary functions. What have I changed here? Okay, added this function and changed the mint function. Let me add these in the version control. Added just the token faucet. Okay, so I think this was good for now, and tomorrow I will try to write test for the permissioning system, which will be in having token faucet and the permissioning system, like both of these contracts will be tested together, because we would first need to mint some tokens from the token faucet and then use it in the permissioning system. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and hope you have a wonderful day.